Hi, everyone. I'm Ren'ee Rentmeester. Welcome to the Cooking Without Looking TV show, Game Day Food Edition. You'll notice that I'm here and that Alan Preston is not here. Alan has been our host for 23 years, along with Annette Watkins. Alan is in the hospital right now. Annette has some things that she's taking care of. So we wish Alan the very best of luck. Also, the friend of the show, Jessica Clay, was going to be here, and she ended up um, with some medical issues as well. So we're sending her our love and our hugs, and can't wait to have you guys back on the show and doing the same thing. For today, we have Dave Carragher from Canada. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you, Renee. As you mentioned, my name is Dave Carragher, and I'm coming to you from New Brunswick, Canada today.
Wow, that's great, Dave. It's good to have you with us. You've been with us before. You're a fryer expert. We just decided to have you back with us. Air fryer, thank you. Just thinking of that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so today, Dave, with the beginning of football season underway, we are taking the game day food to the next level. Dave?
Yes, today we have Joseph Fleeks and Sayyida Hillier from the Blind um, Table Talks podcast, and they're going to be demonstrating their next level football snacks. Sai is going to make a almost 7-layer dip, and Joseph will be making his stuffed peppers recipe. Renee?
Wow, Dave, I must admit that sounds much better than potato chips and pretzels. Usually what you get in my fare around my house. It sounds good. I can't wait to hear from both of them, and they've got some cool ideas for their snacks too, really creative ideas. Oftentimes, people say, well, why is a blind person worried about, the color or the placement or whatever? It's for the people you're serving and enjoying your time with. Just a reminder that all of our guests on the Cooking Without Looking TV show are blind or visually impaired. So, without further ado, Dave.
Yeah, I think basically you should be trying to present your best foot forward or your best dish forward for all your friends and family. So without further ado, let's get the Cooking Without Looking game day episode started.
Well, today our first guest is Sayyida Victoria, or as she likes to be called, Sai. Welcome, Sai.
Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here, Renee. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your blindness.
Well, okay, so my name is Sayyida Victoria. I am living in Houston by way of San Diego, California. I've been in Houston for about 10 years now. I am actually totally blind, so I have no vision, no light perception, nothing. And I've been blind for 20 years now. I lost my vision from a disease called neuromyelitis optica. And that, I know it's a mouthful, but it's a rare disease and it's a disease that not many know of. So if you know somebody that has that, then they are definitely a rarity. But and so that is my disease. And I just, I enjoy cooking and I'm glad to be here on the show to share my recipe with you, my almost 7-layer dip. And I say that because it's not actually 7 layers. I counted and it's almost 7 layers. So and so where the name comes from, okay? So but yeah, so that's me kind of in a
Give or,
nutshell.
give or take a layer, right?
Right, exactly.
And
And
along with Joseph alongside of you, you guys make up the Blind Table Podcast. I'm sorry, the Blind Table Talk Podcast.
Yes, yes, we do. So we are the host of Blind Table Talk Podcast, which is a relatable podcast for the blind and visually impaired community. We try to connect the resources, connect the community, as long as bring awareness to others about all of the positivity in our BVI community, and just kind of like to spread awareness about any and everything. So that's what our mission is with our podcast.
Well, Joseph Fleeks is right alongside of you. Hey, Joseph.
Hello, Renee. How's it going? I really appreciate you having me on the show and have just having us a part of the episode, with the Blind Table Talk podcast of being here. I guess I'm jump right in. A little bit about me from Houston, Texas, born and raised. Been in the blind community for about 20 years now. Actually, probably going on 21 years. My blindness happened back in 2006 of January. It was a trauma incident. Ended up having a gunshot damage to my face and damaged my optic nerves. And so just went from that journey from there and just been in the community. I've always been around football and sports and just like all different type of cookouts and Super Bowl parties. And so I, took all the things that I've learned from there and I had my own creation, and I love peppers, and what family really doesn't love peppers? So that's how we got the stuffed bell peppers, and that's how we get down around here.
Okay, so
Those
now,
both sound delicious.
wait, it does, doesn't it, Dave? I don't know, Dave. How about we all make our bell peppers after this and the 7-layer dips this weekend? Well, maybe we'll make an 8-layer dip, right?
All right.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely
Or a
football
6.5.
weekend. Time for
Yes.
it.
Okay, so now the moment our taste buds have all been waiting for. Sai, we're gonna have your give the stage to your almost 7-layer dip. Let's see how it's done.
All right. Okay. So let's see. And we're going to start here. Let me go ahead and get my thing. So as as with other things, obviously a lot of my stuff is pre-cut and pre-made. I'm sorry, I'm walking away from the camera just to get some of my stuff here so that
Don't worry, that's how we do it.
good. I'm a newbie to this, so but
oh, you're crushing it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just get my ingredients here, and we're going to put the dip together in order that it is supposed to be. So for those that have seen the recipe or even may have heard of it on their own, a 7-layer dip consists of 7 layers of just stuff being laid on. So my almost 6-layer dip is pretty much the same. So and sometimes it can get kind of messy getting this together, but we're going to work it out. So the first layer is cream cheese. Okay. The cream cheese is spread throughout the pan, and then I'm actually going to spread that for us right now. Now, this is probably the messiest part of this food because, as a blind person, I try not to, focus on messiness because it is what it is, right? We're going to get stuff messed up. But I now have some gloves just because I have nails. So those of you that have nails, it's not very enjoyable to get that food in those nails, underneath those nails. So I'll try to avoid that. Okay, so where's all right, there it is. Couldn't find the edge of
right
the.
there.
I know, you see that, Renee. Flipping it over. Okay.
Actually, it reminds me of trying to get those fruit bags open in the grocery store.
I hate those. Those are the worst.
Oh yeah.
It makes
They
it
never want to
so
open.
difficult. Yeah.
What was that, Dave?
Right.
So they never want to open, and then you feel like everyone's staring at you because it won't
Right.
open.
Like,
I know.
gosh, you can't even open a bag. Yeah, like, yeah, I hate those bags. All right, so I'm just gonna open up the crack them open here, and we'll spread these around. Okay, so I'm looking for some scissors. I'm just gonna use the scissors to cut this open, and we will go ahead and work from there. Good. Everybody should have a good pair of kitchen scissors and at their disposal. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead. So one of the things that was in the recipe is that there is it's recommended 1 to 2 cream cheeses. And the reason is the thickness. Of course, if you spread one at the bottom, it's going to be a thinner layer. And using 2 will make it thicker. And I always use 2 because sometimes you don't always get to the bottom layer if it's kind of thin with the spoons or whatever. And my family actually loves the cream cheese. So I always use 2 for the thicker layers. Yes. Just so you guys know, Joe is going to be using this for Thursday night game night tonight here. So he's excited about
Okay.
that. Yes.
Super excited. I'm just can't wait. We got the Buffalo in Miami tonight too. Definitely a good game.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So once we take this out here, and this is my mess, and I cannot stand mess, so let me just get rid of this really quickly. I have my little handy dandy trash can over here. Just put that there for now. All right. So we take this and we just spread it, right? We just spread this across. And I use this because, and I use my hands to just spread it. I don't know what else. Sometimes people might want to use a spoon. It's very difficult because it's, cream cheese. It's kind of thick. It's kind of chunky. So we just spread it throughout the bottom of the container.
Would it help
Very
to
easily.
microwave it a little?
No, what would help, I probably would. You can't microwave it though because it's in like a foil package. Unless you take it out to microwave it, but I wouldn't want to do that because it might kind of, but what does help and what I did not do, I will tell you, is you should have taken it out like earlier during the day and just let it sit on the counter until you're ready to use it. And that probably would have helped.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It does help because I've done that many a time. And it was about actually an hour ago and I said, oh shoot, I forgot to take my cream cheese out. So I knew this would be a problem, but so usually what I'm struggling with, guys, it's not usually this difficult, I promise you. So, okay. So this is that. So we are done with that. And maybe, and so then I got my gloves, so let me go ahead and take these off and get rid of them. That's the good part about that. All right, so now, so we have that first layer. Our second layer is going to be the chili. And just use a handy dandy can opener to open up your can of chili. I'm doing that now. Again, I should have had this opened as well, but I did not. So
that's okay.
Only take a minute.
It's okay.
So are you guys beans or no beans chili?
At no beans.
Oh, I
Now,
see.
it is a preference. Some people might, chili. So, and so I'm gonna get that can there. And then also too, when I was shopping for this, one of the things was, well, what size chili do I get? What can? Now I'm thinking, if, obviously the bigger the can, the more chili. So that can kind of be something that's played with too. What if you use 2 cans of chili? But I don't know how different it would be. It would just be more chili. And what if you use 2 pounds of ground beef? I mean, I just thought about ways to double it because this thing goes very quickly when I tell you. All right, so I have the chili. So I'm just going to take the chili straight out the can and go ahead and pour it over my layer, which obviously probably have to more shake. So I shake it going down the middle. Okay. And I get any excess out of there, and that's good. And then do the same thing. Layer two. Layer two, just spread it across.
It's a very tactile recipe.
Very. All right, it's very spread across, and just make sure it's spread. Now this chili, you can feel there's like chunks of meat in it. So that's cool that there's chunks of meat there, but we're not gonna stop there. I want more meat. So now let's get rid of these gloves.
At least 5 more layers, right?
Right, at least. Let's see. Okay, so we have that. So let me just, because, sorry guys, I know you're gonna hear this, but
No,
I'm gonna
that's
wash my
okay.
hands.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
probably do it about 3 or 4 times in the hour as I'm cooking. So, but I do that because I'm gonna get the cheese that I'm going to be spreading across. And I don't want to put the gloves on for that because I just don't want to. So, all right. So then here you guys go. Look at here. We're going to spread the cheese, and it's just going to be sprinkled across. Not going to focus too much on how, usually sometimes I'll have my daughter come and say, is there cheese on every single spot? I want everything covered, but I'm not doing that today because, you know, it's okay. Especially since I'm trying to cut back on the cheese eating. So that's a layer right there. Now that layer is done.
You can never have too
Beautiful.
much cheese.
Absolutely right. You know what? I always say that cheese makes everything taste better.
That's right.
That's definitely true. Now I will do the gloves for the next part because, like I said, yes, the chili has a little bit of meat in it, but that's not enough. I am going to add the next layer, which is going to be the taco meat. Taco. It's ground beef, but I say taco meat because it is made with a taco seasoning packet in there, as the recipe indicates. So,
Right. And if anyone wants to get that recipe, it's on our website already. www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com.
awesome. So then here, I'm going to come on this side over here in my already prepared meat that I have in my frying pan, which I ground beef. So, you know, you make this the same way as you just ground beef, make the taco, same way as if you were making tacos. I like letting it sit so I can spread it, but it's 1 pound of ground beef, 1 taco packet, mixed up. And guess what we do with that? Obviously, we're going to spread it.
If my math is serving me, we're on layer number 4.
See, now this is where my next layer is what's going to be the question. And I'll tell you that in a second. So, and we I'm taking it out and away from the home, I would have to, sometimes I'm like I'll open up Be My Eyes and say, is this spread out evenly? Because I want to make sure that it looks right because, you know, it's being eaten by others. This one my family's going to devour, so they don't care what it looks like. It's going to go down the drain. Okay, so we got this spread across, right? It's all done. Now, this is my question, Renee. Would another layer, even though I call it a layer, of cheese be considered a layer since we just did cheese, just a little ground beef, and
Well, I guess cheese to the second power. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's where the question is, do we count each layer of cheese as a layer? So, all right, so we have this, and let's just spread this across again. And again, use as much as you want. I use a lot, use a little bit, you know, use different types of cheese. Some people, since we got taco meat, you could use that Fiesta cheese blend, you know, the cheese that has the 3 kinds of cheeses in it.
Sure, pepper jack.
Pepper jack, anything, you know, you
Yeah,
can
that'd be good.
get
Yeah.
creative with it. You know, you can do that and try different ones each time you make it and see which ones you like best
You can
or
make
which
it
ones
your
are
own.
family favorite. Exactly.
What kind are you using today?
So this is sharp cheddar cheese is what I'm
Oh, that's
using.
awesome.
We got sharp cheddar cheese being used. And honestly, I will tell you, I've made this a dozen times. I've never used anything else. I just, when I said that right now, I said, well, I need to take my own advice and try something different. So I think I will try something different.
Sometimes our own
Okay.
advice is the hardest to take.
That's very true.
Yes, it is definitely true. Okay, guys, now here's the thing. We're almost done with it. We're almost done, but we have to do our top layer. Okay. So I'm going to just put this, and I don't like leaving my food just sitting open. So I'm going to move this to the side, but I'm going to put a layer of paper towels on top of it because you never know what's flying around. Could be a fly in the house. It could be
Extra
anything.
meat, another layer.
Yes, exactly. I'll make my own layers. I don't need nobody else adding layers. So I'm going to put that there. And then what I'm going to do is get the top. So there's another few also variations of the top layer. Okay. Some people think or call it guacamole, but which I guess it is in a sense. That's where we have the avocados, the green onions, cilantro, and what else was there? Oh, the tomatoes are what the option is. The original recipe had tomatoes in it. I do not like tomatoes. I mean, I like them, but I don't like putting them in stuff because sometimes tomatoes come in different textures. Sometimes they're mushy. Sometimes they're, you know, I don't like them in sauces. So I just leave them off. Some people put them in. But you chop up your avocados to a squares, like squares, you know, little cubes, because we're gonna mash them up anyway. So we have the avocados there, and then we have green onions and cilantro that we're gonna add, and I have those already here. So the green onions, this is one of the problems when you do ordering online. I ordered fresh green onions because I like to cut them myself because I don't like using the white part of the green onion, but other people do, and you may, and that's okay too. But they were sent to me already cut. So these are green onions, which, you know, cut away from some time, but
That's
I'm gonna cut
amazing.
yeah, and you know, I thought it was kind of, and I looked at them and they feel good and they feel fresh too. So I've never done them
They
this way
look
before.
fresh.
Yeah, I've always done it the other way. So
Yeah, they do.
I guess the white part won't kill me if I have it in there. So I'm just
But you
gonna
know,
put
it's
some in.
funny. I was taught not to use the white too, but now
Right.
I notice people are using the white part of the onion as well. So hey,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah, well,
each
why
his own.
not? So we just add some in there to the avocados I just put. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do, hopefully, Renee, hopefully I'm not taking too much time here, but I
No,
just
no, no.
want
Don't
to.
worry.
Okay, so I don't like the big sticks on the cilantro. Okay, so I peel off the actual leaf of every stick, but then it leaves them big. But what I'm gonna do, because they are kind of big, I'm gonna cut them down real quick, and on that way I'll give you a little tip on how to just cut them quickly. So what I do when I cut them is I just take a well, let me make sure I don't want to knock down my bowl. Okay, so I just kind of take a handful here, this handful, put it right here on my cutting board. Then I just kind of use the knife and I just chop them down. Just chop them down here. No method, no specific way to do it. Just cut. Just cut. Cut, cut, cut. That way there's not a bunch of big pieces of leaves in your
Right.
mix. And sometimes we do, and even every now and then I've even found sticks, I call them sticks, but that have made it in. I'm like, how the heck did that stick get in there?
You know, the same thing happens. I was using fresh rosemary the other day and it was like, whoa, it's like biting into a piece of tree in your food.
Right. Yes. And it's got a burst of flavor too. It's really strong too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I'm just making this a little bit so we can, and that's a good thing too. You know, I would say about being blind is that I'm not going off of look. So I feel we are at an advantage because we feel what needs to be cut versus people looking at it and saying, oh, it's cut good, but no, it's not, because we are I'm feeling it, and I'm like, I feel some big leaves still. So that's the advantage we have here. All right, so might still have a few big ones, but that's okay, it won't kill us. All right, so
Well, just wait until
so-
after the show.
right, yeah, exactly. So okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and get this mixed in the bowl with that. So put those in there. I have some extra, so I'm gonna get this, put this on the other side so I can get this out the way because I need to mix up some stuff. And then we'll do our last and final layer.
Ah,
So what I do need to do is do this. Let me just do this lemon real quick because part of the last part is a lemon.
what is the hardest part about cutting for you? Was there anything that was a challenge for you to cut?
Um, no, and not really. The hardest challenge for me is sometimes with my nails that I have because I can feel where my fingertips, the edge of my fingertip is, right? But I can't always feel where the edge of my nail is. So, you know, my acrylic nails, so sometimes I end up chipping them or cutting them off with the knife. But
Ouch.
other than that, it's not really difficult for me. I've been doing it for so many years.
Sure.
I think it worries other people more than it does me. So, all right, so let's mix our last final step. Mix it up. Now, this is where we're going to get kind of creative in there because we got to smash it up. So, we are going to be mixing another thing about online ordering, guys, is we cannot pick our avocados. So I ordered 6 avocados, which I use 4 to 6, depending on how big or small they are.
Mhm.
And 3 of those avocados were hard as a rock.
Oh, wow.
So I was not even able to use them. So we know what we're going to do. We are going to either try to spread this as thin as possible across, or we're only going to do half. I don't know. Whichever one, because there's probably not as much of that, and I probably should have used less cilantro too. But it's to your liking. You know, it's to everything is to your taste. But don't forget the lemons. Now, one of the key things about the lemons, when you're squeezing them, you want to squeeze it into your hands because lemons have seeds. And you don't want the seeds in there. It won't kill you if you have them in there, but it is a nasty, bitter taste if you bite into one of those lemon seeds.
Right,
So I
right.
squeeze it into my hand so that it will catch all of the seeds that fall out.
You know what I use? I use like one of those little netting things. And so I squeeze it into that. And so if there is a seed,
Mm,
it falls into there as well, too.
right. Yeah, that's a good tip. That's a great
Yeah.
tip.
Do you mean like a little strainer, Renee?
Yeah, thank you for the
Mhm.
word. I'm lost on
There you
words today. You know, Alan and Annette aren't here, so my words just fail me.
So, and then the last thing for our little mixture, I'm gonna grab some, let's see which one this one is. It's either gonna be, I want garlic salt because I'm,
Hey, so not to be revolutionary here, but
Mhm.
do you guys like black olives and sour cream for a layer?
Oh, that might be, some people do use sour cream, I would like the black olives actually. That might be a good one.
Then
Mhm.
he's trying to get you to that 7th layer.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right.
Always building the layers. You can
Right.
do it.
Or
All right, so
black
lastly,
beans would be
guys,
good too.
What
oh
was
yeah,
that
that
thing?
too.
You can put like a layer of like black beans and corn or something like that in there as well.
Well, that's funny because the 7 layers, a lot of 7 dips that people make, they do have refried greens spread across them. That's a typical ingredient for a 7-layer dip. So there's some form of the refried greens or something like that. So, all right, guys, are you ready? Because this is the part that we are going to have some fun with. Let's get my tray back. Okay, let me just get this out the way because I do not want this to, I don't want to knock over anything because couple of things that Joseph might need for his recipe. Okay, so now we're gonna spread it. I'm gonna wash my hands one more time, guys, because I don't want to wear gloves for this because I need to feel. I really need to feel, especially when I'm working with a limited amount of guacamole, as it's called.
Oh, there's always a little layer of Dawn in there too.
Right. Exactly. Imagine if I didn't rinse my hands off completely and their soap would be mixed in with that. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, man.
Just tell I can just see one of my kids, Mom, it tastes like soap. Yeah, you know what? So what? Clean your mouth out. That's what that means. Clean your mouth. Eat it.
You'll love it.
Yes. All right. So here we go, guys. This is my final step to my almost 7-layer dip. And we're just going to spread this across, okay? This one's a little bit harder to spread though, guys, because why? Because it's all stuck together. And then when you spread it, it sticks to the cheese and all that stuff that's on there.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is why I said, you know what? I need to do this with my own hands. When my daughter first seen me do this, she was like, Mom, ew, you're using your hands. It's so gross. I said, well, then don't eat it. But it still didn't stop her from eating it when she
There
did
you
it.
go.
But
That's the true test, right?
right. Yeah. I don't like, so I'm going to I should have just stayed to one side, but I did not. Still, we're going to spread. Now, remember, guys, here's the thing about this one is that I did not have all of the avocados that I needed to spread it across the whole thing. So I'm kind of just going to make it like here and there type of things. But originally, it is supposed to be spread all the way across. Okay. So this one we're going to do spotted. So it may not look as pretty as I want it to look, but trust me, it will taste the same. And I'm going to go and find, before my family eats it tonight, I'm going to go and add some more avocados to it. But that would be it. The 7-layer, almost 7-layer dip, guys. And then you just eat this with corn chips and you are good to go.
Well, can you just show us? Sai, that sounds so good. What about you, Dave?
Yes.
Sounds great to you too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna make that sometime this weekend, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it's got that. So let me just mix up some stuff a little bit here because I felt some feel there, about there. And I'm just mixing it up so it'll look nice and, well, I don't know how it looks, but hey, Renee, you
Okay.
can tell me how it looks.
Let us see.
Can you see it?
Okay. Let me, okay, spotlight for everyone. There you are. Great. That looks beautiful. That looks really wonderful.
Is the guacamole spread all the way across it?
It is spread. It is spread.
Okay.
Not a problem.
It's
It looks
spotted.
great. It looks
Awesome. Well,
wonderful. Thank
there
you
it
so
is for you
much.
guys. No problem. And making this is fun. It's gonna be a hit at any game day fun or any barbecue, any outing, cookouts, all that stuff. So
And you guys are
all
giving
right.
it a test run tonight.
Yes, they are definitely going to do that. So I am just going to go ahead and clean up my stuff so I can move out the way for my great host over here. Washing his hands. Okay, let me see. Hold on. I'm getting all the stuff out your way.
Okay,
So we have this.
alrighty, and Dave?
Yeah, so now we have the other half of the Blind Table Talk team, Joseph Fleeks. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank y'all so much. I have to tell y'all from experience that almost 7-layer dip, it's absolutely one of my favorites. I be looking for seconds of the pan. I be telling her like, please hide me some, because yeah, that's I'm sorry, I just can't get enough of it. Just can't get enough. It is really awesome. And
Well, that's a
so
testament to how good it is, I guess.
oh yeah, no, it's a big thing around the Houston family here. But to also go with it, we're going to show you how to make these stuffed peppers. And mine is not as complicated as Miss Beautiful Sayyida, but it's still a treat and a joy to have. I'm gonna get set up here, grab the things. So I've already started with a lot of things like pre-cut the bell peppers that I've already have. We have a color of the red and the green ones. The reds are definitely my most favorite. You can choose any color that you like. You can do this in the yellow ones, the orange, or the two colors I have here are the reds and the greens. So
right.
we have that here. I'm just going to just set it up a little bit more here, put my things here. Alrighty, and as be moving back and forth, huh? I'm going hands. Yeah, that's why I advise everyone to wash your hands
No
as I did
gloves.
before I got started. Because I goes in, all my guests were like, "Man, you cooking with your hands?" Yeah, I know, but I'm playing. And so let's make sure. Alrighty, here's the meat and the rice that we'll need to be stuffing into the bell peppers. So I'm going to bring this over. So the ingredients for the stuffed bell pepper is the ground beef that we use. And then from there, we add in some seasoning, which is some garlic salt, garlic powder, some cumin. Also have the taco meat package and with some cilantro and a little bit of minced onions and minced garlic. And we just go ahead and cook that up in the skillet. Doesn't take too long. Mix it up with the rice, and you come out with your ground beef and rice perfection. And that's what we're gonna add on as we stuff. We have the cheese in there as well. Put this lid here, so make sure I won't that fall. Awesome. All righty. So what I do here, I grab my shell of my bell pepper. I start placing them onto the sheets here, kind of just laying them out. So I can just have it already sectioned on the sheet here. Of course, color doesn't matter for me, even though I like certain colors of bell pepper. It doesn't matter how you arrange them really on the sheet there. But I normally just like to put them in a nice row. So everything kind of has its own little area and it can breathe.
And I remember
And
on the podcast, you guys had a great idea of like actually using the colored peppers that match your team.
you can do that. Yes, indeed. Especially with all the peppers, you can have those to match the team colors, just to be more showing your sportsmanship and the camaraderie for your team. Just rinse the hands off here for a second. Now we're going to get to grabbing the filler, where what we're going to have for the bell peppers, and start filling them up here.
So did you mix the cheese in with your meat and onions and stuff, or do you put that in
Yes,
after?
and so of course all the cheese right now are mixed in with the filler, with the rice, the meat, and everything right
Okay.
now. And so we're going to fill the bell peppers up with the filler. Once we put them into the oven and take them out, then we're going to add more cheese. As always, cheese makes
Wow.
everything so much better.
Definitely.
So what I'm doing right now, I just like grab a nice little handful of this bell pepper here and just stuff it into the bell pepper shell. You would like to fill it up, so make sure you grab enough handful, just to make sure that you fill it up, but you don't want it to overflow too much. So I'm just make sure I just stuff them here, kind of fit it to the shell there. Perfect there. Here we go. And then I just sit it back down onto the pan and onto my next one. I just grab and fill until I complete my mission. There's a lot of grabbing and filling, and it just comes out to be like one of just a good finger food type of ordeal. Definitely just be busting with a lot of flavor. I agree. All right, well, my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it also sounds like it's a pretty quick recipe to make, because if you have a bunch of
Yeah.
people over for the
Yeah.
game, you don't want to spend the whole time in the kitchen. So
Exactly, and not even that, Dave. The game about to come on, so we're not trying to be in here. We like to
wow.
get these made and get sitting down, because we don't want to miss nothing on the game, man.
No,
For
not at all.
sure, not at all.
Keep
That
your
is
eye
what
on
it
the
is.
prize.
There you go.
Definitely, definitely.
Eye on the ball, but eye on a bell pepper for sure. And so I'm just still grabbing and just filling it in here. And some, it can get a little messy, but that's why for me, I just like to fill it with my hands so I can make sure I feel exactly the grooves and like how much space I have in here, and if I fill it up all the way. So this takes about a little bit of time. Almost done with there. Now we're gonna do the other two here.
So how many peppers did you start with?
So I started with 3 greens and 3 reds.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes about 6 because you cut the peppers in half, so
Yeah.
that gives
Okay,
you,
cool.
yeah, and so gives you more to work with, and just enough. But it depends on if you have a big family or so. You always use more peppers. Just depends on if you want how much you want to do, and if you use more peppers, of course, instead of using like a 1 pound ground beef, you'll just probably use maybe a 3 or a 5. And just same thing, just always season it up with the seasonings, and and have your rice.
Oh, and two, what about the mini bell peppers? Because we can't find those anywhere. I know they're out there, but if we had those, that would be perfect. Those mini ones.
Definitely more perfect,
Yeah.
yeah. Like one of these in my hands is kind of mini, but it'd
Yeah,
be
some of
more
them are
preferred
mini.
to have the mini ones. Yeah,
Yeah, I just haven't seen those. I mean, I know they're out there, but they're not very common. I
nah,
can't hardly ever find them. So, but those would be ideal.
yes, indeed. So that's the quick process of making them. Then we're gonna take the cheese and spread it over. While my lovely partner grabs that out, I'm gonna rinse my hands one more time.
Teamwork.
Yes, indeed.
Side is
As you
sort of
see,
like
I believe in teamwork makes the dream work.
there you go.
Definitely, definitely.
One more time with the
Side turns into
napkin.
sort of like a Vanna White of the kitchen right now.
Yeah. Sai, have you tasted these yet?
Yes, I do. And I eat way too many. And yes, I have. They are delicious. And actually you can use any colors, but the red ones are my favorites. They're the best.
Thank you. And
Yeah,
so
they're a
here,
bit sweeter than the green ones. So
yes, they are.
Exactly. That's why I like them. Yes.
In order for me, it's the red, which are the sweetest, and then it's the orange one, and then the yellows, and then the greens. But the orange and the yellows, they seem to be. I don't know. I think everybody really loves those because those are really hard to find for me. But now I'm going to put the cheese onto the bell pepper finisher, and all I do is just grab the sharp cheddar cheese and shred it. You can use as much as you want. or we just take it and then just sprinkle it across the top of it, just a little bit as so. We're gonna have some that's gonna fall off into the foil, but it's okay. It's nothing but a little cheese around it, right? Everybody gotta love the cheese. Cheese make it happen. So I just take a pinch. I have big hands. I'm a fairly big size dude. So me taking a pinch is still like grabbing a lot of cheese. Best believe, y'all. And when I say I'm grabbing a pinch, I'm still like, it's a chunk of cheese I have in my hands here. I'm just spreading them on top of the bell peppers here, just making a good old layer of cheese, and can't wait to put these in the oven and let this get melted and all together. Let's see here, a couple more I have here.
How long do you bake these for before you put them in with cheese?
About 8 to 10 minutes.
And what kind of temperature are we looking at using?
We're looking at 350 for the temperature.
Okay. And you just put them back. Do you put them back into the same temperature oven when you put the next layer of cheese on, or?
No, once I pull them out after the first time, that is it. I throw some more cheese on them while they're still warm. Put a little bit of black olive. I like a little bit of sour cream. Is what you prefer. And that once I throw that last layer, it is time to eat. So this is the finished product. This is the product here. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. So this is where I would take this one over to the oven. Here, I'm just gonna put this down on the eye. Awesome, awesome. And so when you cook them for about 8 to 10 minutes, you will get the lovely creation of these. Renee, are you able to see these?
Oh, yeah, I've just lifted a little higher, but they do look nice. Oh,
They do.
They're beautiful.
Yes, indeed. These are the stuffed bell peppers. And like I said, for the last toppings, for me, I like to throw the black olives and some sour cream on top of them. I'm just extra like that. But
oh, that sounds like a delicious addition for sure.
Definitely.
It
Most
does.
definitely.
Get that creaminess and probably like a little saltiness from the olives too. So
yes.
Now,
Yes,
do you ever
indeed.
boil or parboil the peppers ahead of time, or is it just put into the oven for 10 minutes?
Put into the oven for the 10 minutes.
Okay.
You know, Renee, I know what you're talking about, though. Some people do boil them, but the reason why we don't boil them, or I guess he doesn't boil them because of I don't like it, is they come out too mushy once you put them in
And it
the
makes them harder to control, like especially when you want to fill it or things. So I prefer to just cut them and just go on straight into the oven, and they still come off soft as you need it with that time. But it's all what you prefer. If you would like them softer, you definitely can do it that way.
I like crunchy, a little bit of crunch to mine though, and that's why for these finger food type of thing.
Yeah, because you guys are eating them like a finger food, not like with a fork and knife.
Exactly.
Right.
A little crunchiness is still a little firmness, I should say.
So there you have it, guys.
Well, that sounds very delicious. I have never made stuffed peppers. It's something on my list that I've always wanted to. I just never have. So
well,
maybe
there
I'll
you
have
see
to
how
try
easy
this
it is,
recipe.
right?
Definitely not
try
hard.
Your recipe sometime soon.
Oh yeah, definitely should.
Well, let us know how it goes. We would love to know your experience and how that works out for you.
Well, thank you, both of you, both Cy and Joseph of the Blind Table Talk. Again, how does anyone reach out to you, and how do we listen to you?
You can listen to us on YouTube or anywhere you can receive your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and that is Blind Table Talk.
And can I just say one thing, Renee, I forgot about? So I wanted to give a shout out to our podcast administrator, Christina. She has been a big help to us, but she found us
our apron. Yes, and have us styling so nice like we are.
So for our blind friends, I have a hot pink apron. Shows it's royal blue,
Royal blue,
royal blue.
which is my favorite color. So,
And they have our blind tabletop logo on front of it. So you have the two people at the table and bring it to the table. And so I just wanted to give her recognition. She works hard behind the scenes for us. And so,
yes, indeed.
but yes, you can reach us at blindtabletop.com as well, the website where you can also get other resources, referrals, also upcoming blind and visually impaired events that are going on in your community. And that's pretty much that. Anything else you have to say?
Thank you for having us, Renee. Thank you for having us,
Of
Renee.
course, of
Thank
course.
you so much, Renee. We appreciate you.
We
And
love
don't forget, we also have your interview that you with us on our podcast that will be coming soon as well, too. So that's going to be airing next week.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I
Yeah.
put you guys all over the place, all over the social media.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us on the Cooking Without Looking TV show, Game Day Edition. If you would like today's recipe as well as past recipes, please go to our website at www.cookingwithoutlooking.tv.wordpress.com. Dave?
Yes, you can, if you want to as well, you can also find past and today's episode on our Cooking Without Looking YouTube channel as well.
Dave, did you know that if people who teach students who are blind or partially sighted, they can use any of our shows on that YouTube channel or our podcasts, and they can use them with students, their own students at no charge. We've even had teachers teaching their sighted cooking students utilizing all of their senses, and so they've used our show as well. Dave?
Oh, wow, that's awesome, Renee, that they're using it for sighted people as well.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, more teachers are teaching their visually impaired students through this TV show all across the country and also in 74 other countries around the world as well, Renee.
Dave, viewers also can check out our Cooking Without Looking podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere they get their favorite podcasts. We're also available on all Alexa-enabled devices and Victor Reader. Dave?
If people would like to donate to the Vision World Foundation, they can do so by going to the Cooking Without Looking website and clicking the link at the top. Renee?
That's right. And if you have, if anyone needs any more information, they can call me at 305-200-9104. Dave, everyone can look for our next show in October. It's going to be with Any Day, the products that if you like to take your cooking in the microwave, maybe you are a microwave cooker, but you're tired of putting Stouffer's in there or whatever you use. They've got some amazing recipes and amazing products that are especially good for people who are blind or visually impaired. And Dave, thank you so much for guest hosting today.
Oh, it was my pleasure, Renee. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great episode, and like I said many times throughout the episode, that these are delicious recipes. So, as Renee mentioned, I'm Dave Carragher, and on behalf of Renee and Alan and the rest of the Cooking Without Looking team, bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again. Take care. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, enjoy the game. Enjoy the
Thank you
weekend.
so much. Y'all have a good one.
You too.